Jennifer. We'll be practicing gentle yoga today. Make sure you have a blanket with you for today's practice and maybe a block or two if that's what you prefer in your practice. Please bring a folded blanket to your mat. I'm going to use this burgundy mat at the back here to demonstrate where we're going to start this morning. We're going to lie on the back in constructive rest, but I'll have you put the blanket underneath your hips. So bring the blanket onto the mat, then sit on it and lean back all the way onto your back. Tuck your tailbone and your fluffy parts underneath you so you really come onto the very back of your pelvis. Allow your feet to widen out a little bit. Allow your knees to hang toward the center. They don't have to touch, just allow them to relax. Your hands can rest on your belly or on the ground next to you. Take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. While you rest here on your back, I'm going to sit up and speak to the camera so you can hear my voice a little bit better. Notice your breath. Notice the thoughts that are swirling around in your mind today. Take a moment to place some of those thoughts into a box and move the box outside of this space. Bring your mind here. Bring your mind into your own body. Feel the breath begin to slow and soften. Feel the back of your ribs expand into the mat. And feel the weight of your lower back and your hips resting down to the floor. Notice the soles of your feet touching the ground. This morning, I'll invite you to travel with me through a meditation of your happy place. So our yoga practice, we're reminded that it's not only the physical shapes that we place our body, it's not only the breathing that we incorporate while we practice these shapes, but it's also the quieting of the mind and the meditation, the specifically guiding the mind to think where we want it to go. So, consider a place where you have been that made you feel so full of happiness. Consider who was with you in this place, if anyone at all. And begin to examine all of the pieces of this place, noticing why you felt so happy. What colors can you see when you look around this place? What shapes? What beings share this space with you? If you were to reach out your hands, what would you feel? What textures and temperatures? Where would you place your hands? And how is that helping you to feel so happy? What do you hear around you? the sounds in this place. Is there something you can smell? What are the scents that are coming into your body in this place? Is there anything that you can taste here? You are feeling happy. So I wonder if there is anything from this space of happiness that you also can find today in your space. Is there anything you see that is the same? Is there anything you feel that is the same? Is there anything you hear that is the same? Is there anything that you smell that is the same? Is there anything that you touch that is the same? As we continue these days, physically distancing from so many who mean so much to us, sometimes we begin to feel a little sad, a little nostalgic, a little wistful for otherness. And I remind you today, I ask you today to consider, what do you already have that you might not be noticing? Let's begin to bring our mind back here to this space and notice the sensations of your feet on the floor, your hips and your lower back to your mat, your upper back, your upper arms and the back of your head to the floor. Notice the weight of your arms on your belly or the ground beside you. Remind yourself that inside of all of us, we are all one with joy and beauty and the universe. And we can find this space of happiness whenever we remind ourselves to reach out and access that universal space. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and a big giant sigh out your mouth. Expand your arms long over your head behind you and gently expand your legs, reaching them out in front of you. Now, if you have a folded blanket underneath you and it feels uncomfortable with your legs extended this way, please lift your hips, remove your blanket, and stretch once again into this feeling of tip to toe, reaching as long as you can. Take a full breath in as you reach and expand through your toes and your fingertips. Hold your breath a moment. Squeeze all of the muscles you can find, even in your face. And exhale through your mouth with a giant sigh. Relax. Try that one more time, extending long through toes and fingers. Full breath in through your nose, reach out. When you're completely full of breath, hold on to it for a moment and squeeze everything you can find. And as you exhale through the mouth, relax your whole body soft. Gently bend your knees and bring your right knee into your chest. So we're going to continue with some physical movement now. So some of you may still have the blanket under your hips. If at any point during this movement it becomes too uncomfortable, just get rid of the blanket. Pull it out to the side and move it away. All right, right knee into the chest. Turn your right ankle around in circles. Lying on your back. Squeeze the knee in as closely as you can and rotate. Now point and flex your ankle. Reach your right leg upward toward the ceiling. Extending tall. Tighten up your thigh and reach the stretch through the back of the leg. Now bend and straighten your knee up and down with the foot. Bend and straighten. No need to go quickly. Notice the snap, crackle, pop that might happen in your joints here. Now let's take the knee and pull it toward your right shoulder, lifting the sole of your right foot into half happy baby. So as you rest on your back, pull your knee inward toward your armpit so the thigh comes toward the side of your ribs. And the sole of your foot is lifted, facing toward the ceiling, perhaps holding on behind your knee or behind your calf or behind or beside your foot. Release this hold. Place your foot on the ground and drop your knee open to the side. Your left knee will still be bent, foot on the floor, but the knee will be pointing at the ceiling. Give your right knee a gentle shake up and down. Just gentle bounce, just a little bounce. And lift your knee again, placing your feet side by side for a moment. Take a breath in. Big sigh out. Bring your opposite knee, your left knee, into your chest. You're still lying on your back. I'm sitting up so you can hear my voice a little bit better. Left knee pulls into the chest. Right leg can be bent with your foot on the floor. If it feels comfortable, you can straighten that other leg. Rotate your left ankle around in circles, a few times in each direction. Point and flex through the ankle, stretching through the front and back of your shin and calf. Now push your foot toward the ceiling, reach it up, and try to straighten your leg as best you can. So straight up and straightening of the knee might not work together for you. So try to straighten your leg, lower it as much as you need in order for it to go straight. Point and flex your ankle up here. Now bend your knee and straighten your knee. So up and down with your foot, bend and straighten. Keep the breath flowing as best you can. All right, now we'll take the knee bent, pull it again toward your outside left shoulder so your thigh comes near the outside of your ribs, and lift the sole of the foot so it points toward the ceiling. So here, half happy baby, maybe holding on behind the knee as you lift the foot toward the ceiling, maybe holding on behind the calf or up at the side of the foot. The opposite leg can be bent or straight, whichever feels comfortable to your body. Think about extending the tailbone away from your head. And now press the tailbone downward into your blanket or your mat. Release the clasp of your knee. Place your foot down with a bent knee and open your bent knee to the side. So your opposite leg could be straight or bent, it doesn't matter. And let's let this left knee drop out to the side. Give it a gentle rock, a gentle shake, just a little soft bounce. Then release and let it rest in stillness a moment. Full breath in. Big sigh out. Lift again your left knee so that both feet come to the floor, and let's take that starting position again. Feet a little wider than knees, knees hanging toward the middle, resting here in stillness. And we'll bring both knees to the chest now. On your back, the hips maybe still on your blanket, both knees coming in toward your chest. As you inhale, straighten your arms and press your knees away from your body. As you exhale, squeeze your knees in tight toward your ribs. Inhale, straighten your arms, knees push away. Exhale, squeeze your knees in tight. Again, inhale away. Exhale, come together. Once more, please, inhale away. Exhale together. Now open your knees wide apart from each other and draw a circle with them until they come back together. Pull them into your chest. Knees pull apart, away, around together, and back in. So drawing two separate circles with your knees. Slow and deliberate into the hip socket. Reverse direction, push your knees away, then pull them apart towards your shoulders and together in front. Push away, pull apart, pull in towards your shoulders and together. One more time, push away, apart, pull towards your shoulders and to your chest. All right, release your feet to the floor. From here, I'm going to invite you to remove your blanket if it's still there. So lift your hips, toss your blanket off to the side. And we're going to take a flowing bridge here. So to start, make sure your feet are lined up in front of your sitting bones and flat on the floor. We want to be sure to press the whole foot down into the ground. And we'll start by lifting the hips up as you inhale. Press the low back, curl the tailbone, and lift the hips up toward the ceiling. Reverse it as you exhale, slowly lower down. Take care the knees stay above the hips the whole time. Don't allow them to lay to the side. Inhale, curl the tailbone up and roll. Exhale, reverse back down. Keep it going. Inhale, curl the tailbone and roll up. Exhale, scoop the tailbone, roll down. Last one like that. Inhale, press the low back, curl the tailbone, lift up. Exhale, lower slowly back down. All right, let's take lift and hold this time. Curl the tailbone, scoop it up, push your hips up toward the ceiling. If it's okay for your hamstrings, you're going to pull your heels toward your head. If that gives you a cramp in your hamstring, drop down and straighten your legs up toward the ceiling. Take one more full deep breath here. Slowly reverse, rolling through your spine all the way down. Once you land, kick your feet to the ceiling, one or both at the same time, and point and flex your ankles here. All right, so we're going to do a little abdominal exercise with our feet up in the air. So imagine your feet were a lot closer to the ceiling than they are, and I want you to lift your hips just enough that you can press your toes to the ceiling. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. It's a little tiny motion. You're probably not going very far off the mat. But as you do this with your toes, if you focus on pushing up instead of behind your head, you'll be lifting using the very low muscles in your abdominals. All right, release that, bend your knees, drop your feet to the floor, roll to your side, and press gently up to a seated place. So you might want to use your blanket again for this seated posture. Brings your hips up a little bit higher, makes you able to sit a little taller. So get comfortable here somehow in your seat. Maybe you want to have your feet tucked under beside you, that's fine. Or perhaps one or both knees are open with your feet to the floor. So we're going to try a breath here, 3-part breath, low, middle, high. Okay. So we're going to fill the breath first from the bottom, then the middle, then high up at the top. Then as you exhale, release from the top, through the middle, and the bottom. Inhale to the bottom, the middle, and the top. Reverse, top, middle, bottom. Let's do that twice more on your own rhythm. Fill the bottom, the middle, and the top. Reverse it. Last one, please. Bottom, middle, top. And reverse. Lower your chin this time all the way down. Swallow while you're here. Drop your fingertips out beside your hips to the floor. As you inhale, lift the backs of your hands up and touch them somewhere over your head. Exhale, release, palms come back down toward the floor. So option 2, gaze upward toward your hands. I'm going to ask you to try to keep the backs of your hands together. So I know that doesn't work for everyone's shoulders, so find a shape that works okay for you. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Just the right arm. This time, palm comes up and faces to your left. Reach those fingers up tall, tip over to your left, and release your neck so your head kind of falls down as well. Allow your left shoulder to drop, your elbow to drop, your palm to rest softly to the floor. Squeeze your belly in, lift your belly up, breathe deeply in and deeply out. Sit up tall this time, inhale. Exhale, release the hand down. Hands come forward to your shins, fold out the front. Maybe your hands come to the floor in front of you or block. Lean forward. As you begin to lean forward, keep the lower ribs buckled in, but lift them up away from the hip points and fill through your lower back with breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Engage the abdominals, round your back, and walk your hands up. Sitting up tall. Exhale, release. Extend your legs to the front. Give them a shake out of the ankles and the knees. Coming the other cross of the leg. Fingertips out beside you. Inhale, lift your arms so they're shoulder height and rotate the palms up. This time, bend the elbows and bring the hands to tap the shoulders and squeeze the elbows together in front of you. Open the elbows, unfurl the arms. All right, back and forth. Palms touch the shoulders, elbows touch each other. Elbows open wide, arms open wide. Continue like this. Again, if you need a modification for your shoulder, go ahead. Figure out a way that's not painful or uncomfortable for you. Try to touch the elbows in front, really opening your back. And we'll go through this one more time, please. Palms to the shoulders, elbows together, elbows open, arms open. Release your right arm, raise your left, tip to your right. Let your head hang. So let your neck soften, getting a little extra stretch on your neck. Drop your right shoulder, drop your right elbow, squeeze the belly in and up, and be soft on your right hand. One more breath. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release your hands down in front of you. Deep breath in and exhale, walk forward with your hands as you breathe out. Long spine, breathing into your lower back and the back body, back ribs. Pull the front ribs into the spine. Extend the tailbone, pull it back away from the crown of your head. Inhale, engage the belly, lift the heart, walk the hands back in closer to your body, sit up nice and tall, palms come in front of your heart. Inhale, lift your hands up. Exhale, twist to the left, arms drop down. Inhale again, lift up, come back through the center, twist the other way, and lower your arms down again. Back and forth. Inhale, up, center. Exhale, twist, lower. Inhale, arms up, turn center. Exhale, twist, and lower. Inhale, lift to the center. Exhale, twist and lower. Inhale, lift to the center. Exhale, twist and lower. Back to the center, palms touch and come down to your heart. Release your fingers beside, extend your legs out the front, and give a good shake out. So we're going to take a sideways seat now to stretch through the groin. You can choose to keep your blanket or not. Move your left leg so it widens to the corner of your mat. Then bend your opposite knee, bring your foot to your inner thigh, and drop your knee out to the side. So for some of you, it might feel more comfortable to give a little lift under your knee with a blanket or a cushion or block. You decide, okay? We're going to start with a side stretch. So first of all, turn your shoulders toward the right so they face the bent knee. Then extend your opposite arm down the length of your straight leg. The right arm will reach up to the ceiling with a full breath in. Lean sideways over to this length of this straight leg. So if right arm in the sky doesn't work for you, drop it down. Hand can come to your hip or maybe the back of your pelvis. And we're going to take that neck release again. So allow your head to drop ear toward shoulder on this left side. So of course, if you have cervical spine concerns, you're going to hold your head in a neutral place, okay? Don't let it drop. The head's really heavy, so this release might aggravate your neck too much. Inhale, rise back up, and exhale, rotate to face your straight leg this time, and as you do that, pull your straight leg hip, your left hip, behind you a little, so you make more of a 90-degree angle than that obtuse angle you had before. Now we're going to fold forward over the straight leg. As we fold forward, again, we want to pull back on the tailbone, pull in on the front ribs, lift up through the heart and the crown of the head, and gently lean out over that extended leg. If you have a strap nearby and you want to put the strap around your leg, that'll work. I have a sweater, so that'll work, right? So I throw that around my foot and I can hold on to my sweater and that'll help me get a little closer if I want, right? So that's up to you. Take a deep breath in. Big sigh out. Inhale, lift back up. Bring your hands to rest behind you on the floor so the palms face fingertips away from your body. Straighten both legs out in front of you and lift your sternum upright toward the sky, finding that big extension on the front of your body, the fronts of your shoulders, your deltoids, stretching down through the biceps. Option here to try to lift your hips up, coming into a plank. Tailbone pushes so that you don't arch in the lower back. And release, coming back to neutral. We'll take the right leg straight out, heel to the corner of your mat. Bring your opposite knee in, bend the knee, place the foot against your inner thigh, and we'll start rotating the ribs toward your left knee. From here, we're facing sideways towards this left knee. The right leg and right arm are extended. Let's take the left hand to the hip this time. Breath in. Breathing out, sideways leaning, reaching down the length of that straight leg. So once you're here, option to take the opposite left arm up toward the sky. And soften your neck. Allow your head to hang downward, dropping into the stretch in the side of the neck. Again, the left arm shape is completely optional. Place it wherever it feels comfortable to your body. Remember to breathe deeply in. Big sigh out. Inhale, lift up again. Exhale to the center. This time we're going to take that straight leg fold over the right leg. So square off a little. So you're facing your straight leg this time. Fingertips can rest beside your body. Inhale up. And exhale, leaning forward. As you lean forward, you're pulling back on your straight leg. Your foot is flexed. Your quadriceps are fired up, leaning out toward the front. Again, if you have a strap or a t-shirt or something that you want to put around your foot to give you a little extra tension here, that's up to you. Take care you're not pulling with your arms, okay? You're adding the weight of your torso, leaning forward. As you're leaning forward, you're pulling the weight of the leg behind you using the leg muscles, not your arm muscles. Inhale to rise. Exhale, return to center. Straighten both legs out beside each other. Leaning back again, take that stretch out through your chest and your upper arms. Pressing the fingertips out to the side, lift your heart up. Option to come into reverse plank, lifting up your hips from the tailbone. Push your tailbone up, extend the shoulders wide apart from each other, and exhale, release, have a seat. Arms both come up this time, reach out toward the front, towards your feet. Lean like a stapler, so bring these lower ribs buckled into your body. Take care you don't round over yourself. Leaning forward, hips pulling backward, allow yourself to drop in. So let's keep the arms optionally up. Imagine you've got on a big beach ball between your hands and you don't want to drop the beach ball down in front of your face. You want to keep the beach ball up so that you can only see your upper arms on the peripheral vision. And release, sitting up, let go of your beach ball and shake your legs out. This time we'll bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together, and allow the knees to drop out to the side. So press your feet into each other. Feel the hips roll open so that the inner thighs roll up and toward the back. Inhale, release. Hands come under the knees and pull the knees up toward each other. Let's come to hands and knees next, please. So my friends who are challenged with wrist issues, you know to bring your blocks at a little angle, and you take your forearms to your blocks and your hands interlaced or prayed together for pressure. Okay, that's always your option here. Otherwise, if you're on your knees, we're going to move through cat and cow. So also my friends who don't like to be on their knees or whose knees prevent this, please take standing cat and cow. Moving through this slow and languidly. Can you find the rolling motion, tailbone through crown of head in both directions? One more time. Now, from this big cat stretch, tuck your chin, pull your hips forward, tuck your toes underneath you, press your fingers to the floor and begin to lift your knees, rounding with your back, up with the hips going into downward dog. Once you get your legs as straight as they will go for your body, reverse that motion, lift your heels, bend your knees, round your back, and drop the knees down to the floor. Inhale to neutral spine. Exhale, drop the belly, lift the tail and the head. Go in reverse. Go through neutral spine, rounding into cat stretch. Press your hands and feet, lift your knees, rolling back into downward dog, straightening your legs. Go in reverse. Lift the heels, bend your knees, curl your body deeply into that cat stretch, drop your knees, come through neutral, drop your belly and lift into cow belly stretch. Other way, tuck your toes, tuck your chin, tuck your hips, pull your navel in, lift the knees, stretch up into downward dog. Going in reverse, bend your knees, curl, round, round, round your body, drop your knees. Coming through neutral, big breath in. Let's take it one more time if you have that available. Otherwise, child's pose will work, or any other shape you want right now. Lift the knees, press back into downward dog. Round the body, bend your knees, curl in tight, drop your knees, and come to neutral. All right, let's untuck the toes. Come up to kneeling or standing. So if you don't want to kneel on your knees for whatever reason, that's fine. Come up to standing. I'm going to turn a little sideways so you can see what I'm doing here. We're going to take the arms out and up overhead. Exhale, drop your left arm, tip left. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, drop your right arm, tip right. All right. Your toes can be tucked or not. It's up to you. Follow your breath. Inhale to the top. Exhale, lower one arm, tip to that side. So pay special attention to the tailbone. Tuck it under. Well, push it down. And the front lower ribs, pull them into the body. One more each side, how about? Exhale, coming over. Inhale, lift. Exhale, coming over. Inhale, lift. All right, release, roll the wrists all the way down. We're going to step the right foot forward for a low lunge. If you are standing, please take warrior one. With your right foot forward, you will lean forward into that lunge so you stretch up through this left hip flexor. If you're standing, Your toes are pointed just slightly to the side. Your right knee is bent, and you've come to Warrior One. So either option, okay? You can be in Warrior One if you want a little more energy today, or you can be in Warrior One if you don't want to be on your knees today. Otherwise, we're down on the front knee. Let's inhale the arms wide into a big V shape. Open the heart, lift the heart, and maybe looking upward a little toward the sky. Now palms come into your heart. We're going to take a twist. This left elbow will turn the body to the right. Reach that elbow forward toward the side of your knee. Okay. So if you're in Warrior One, you're not going all the way to your front knee. You're going to twist your chest and lean forward. Okay? A little too tight on this back knee with too much torque, probably to come fully into a twist with Warrior One. You could always try to slide into a twisted crescent lunge if you want to go there. All right? Inhale, come back to center, raise both arms up. Exhale, pull the hips back and straighten out this front leg. So a lot of us need some extra support here if you have a block or a blanket or some pillows to hold on to so you don't fall crooked. That might work better for you. Inhale, let's release up, and we'll change over to the other leg. All right, so the left foot is coming forward into a lunge, or you're stepping to Warrior One. Bend forward enough that you get a stretch up here through the right hip flexor. Toes and back can be tucked or pointed, that's up to you. If you're coming to Warrior One, that's fine. Wherever you feel you want to be, drop the tailbone down, zipper up this front belly, really buckle those lower ribs into each other, and zip up all the way high up to your sternum. Now let's take those arms out wide in a big V. Try to feel the shoulder blades slide down your back. Inhale, can you gaze upward? One more breath. And as you exhale, hands come to the heart. Now we're going to add that twist. So if you're standing, take care of the back knee. Rotate the ribs left. Lean forward so your elbow comes to the top of your knee. Turning into this twist. So this might be way too deep for you, okay? If that's too deep, perhaps right hand to the floor, turning your ribs to the left. I've got my hand on a block. It's a really nice option. One more breath here. Exhale, untwist to the front. Pull the hips back to straighten out the hamstring here on the other leg. Tipping forward a little or a lot. Keep the ankle flexed, stretching through the back of the leg. One more breath. And release. All right, so let's carefully come up to standing for one standing exercise. All right, so for this standing exercise, I highly recommend you have a solid blanket or a block. If you have a sofa pillow, it can work, but I want you to take care you're not going to trip on your object, so you might want to get near the wall. I'll show you what we're going to do with this. I'm going to show you an option with the block, and then I'll show it to you with the blanket. If you have a blanket that you've been using, fold your blanket maybe into a rectangle. Okay, so I'll show you both options. So I'm going to stand behind my block. I'm going to put one foot on top. So what I'm going to do here is pretend I'm climbing up a step. And I'm going to use one leg at a time to press down and rise straight up. Okay? Straight up. So this should work if you have a solid blanket or a solid cushion. Okay? But if it feels too wobbly, go stand next to the wall or a chair. If you've already done 8 or 10 or so on one leg, switch over to the other leg. Option here to lift your knee if you like. Okay? So try to even out the number you did on both sides. Option to lift your knee. This exercise always gives me flashbacks of step aerobics class. All right, change your other leg if you've tried lifting your knee. It doesn't have to come all the way up to your waist. Some of you might want to add opposite arm lifts, raising your hands to the sky. Okay, those are all nice things to do. I'm feeling low energy today with the weather, so I'm going to stay low. All right. And release. So one thing we tend to find ourselves doing when we climb stairs is not fully investing in that climbing. Okay, so what I want you to find with this climbing here with the block, and you can practice this on your own, is when you step up, I want you to fully extend your legs so straight that you can really tighten up the quadricep. Okay? And if you feel like alternating legs, give that a try. Really push down into the step. So the next time you approach some stairs, give yourself a moment to say, hey, wait, let's go really slowly and climb up the steps so slowly so that each time you press down your foot, you really extend your legs straight. And then press the other foot and really extend your legs straight. Okay? All right, shake that out. Inhale your feet a little wider than your mat and rotate your toes open to the side. Inhale your arms up and exhale, bend your elbows and your knees. So I'm going to give you an option here to hold still or to move. If you're moving, make sure you take full extension of the arms and the legs by squeezing the buttocks and squeezing the thighs. If you're holding still, perfectly fine. Keep those hips rotating out the back, just like we did in butterfly cobbler's pose where we had the soles of the feet together. We want to really rotate at the hip so that the inner thigh comes up and over the back. One more big breath. Release to standing. Heel toe your feet back together. Make a little space between your feet actually for mountain pose. Arms come up to the sky. Reach all the way up. Then bring your palms to touch. Slide down through the center. We're going to roll down into forward fold. Tuck your chin. Round your shoulders. Scoop your belly. Bend your knees. Drop your hands down the fronts of your shins as you slide all the way down into forward fold. Bend your knees as much as your body needs to allow yourself into a comfortable forward fold. Please take care that the strain and efforting in your forward fold is happening in your legs, not in your back. Deep breaths in and out. While you're here, we're almost finished with class, so take this forward fold into any aberration that works for your body. Maybe moving your hips around, maybe taking hands a hold of opposite elbows and hanging in ragdoll, maybe bending one knee and shifting into the other hip. Just take some breaths here. Now we're going to begin to collapse to bring ourselves down onto the floor. So bend your knees. If you would like to come through yogi squat, go right ahead. Bending your knees all the way down. Let your tush come to the floor. Roll onto your back. Pull your knees into your heart. Give yourself a squeeze. We're going to finish up with a twist. So place your feet to the floor. Knees are bent. Lift your hips and move them to the right a couple of inches. Open your arms wide out to the side. Drop your knees to the left. Allow yourself to drop into this twist. If this is too deep for your body, you could take a block and place it between your shins. The blanket works quite nice like that. You could also put one underneath, okay? That way you won't twist as far. Okay, you decide what you want this shape to feel like on your body. Perhaps gazing over the opposite right hand. Where can you let go? Where can you release? Let's come back through the center. Place your feet to the floor, lift your hips and shift them to the left side of your mat this time. Arms are open wide. Drop your knees and maybe also your feet over to the right side. And release. In this twist, we're dropping the shoulders to the floor. So allow your knees to move only so much as you can keep the shoulders on the floor. Where else can you let go? Inhaling, bring yourself back to the center. Once again, squeeze your knees toward your shoulders. Tuck your chin, lift your head and shoulders up. Make yourself into a really tiny little ball. Squeeze and release. Find any final stretches or movements that your body would like to add into this practice before you settle into Shavasana. Any final stretches, maybe the fronts of your thighs, maybe the backs of your hamstrings. Maybe you want a full happy baby this time with both knees down and both feet up. Maybe you need one more full back bend, coming into fish pose, lifting your sternum, maybe also tipping onto the tippy top of your head. You decide. And when you feel complete, gather up your cozy supplies and bring yourself into Shavasana. It's a good time to put on your extra layers, put your socks back on, grab your sweaters. Find your favorite cozy blanket. This time we'll put the blanket on top. Maybe also an eye pillow or a weighted cushion on your belly. Our practice time today has run out. Please stay here for maybe 5 minutes. Hopefully you can't see a clock, so you have no idea when it's 5 minutes. Try to allow yourself to feel a sense of rest. In the beginning, you might find your brain has already moved on to other activities that will happen after class. If that's the case, remind those things to go back inside the box. Push the box to the side for a few more minutes. Bring yourself back to your happy place. Remind yourself what you found in that happy place. What do you see? What do you hear? What can you touch? What can you smell? What can you taste? What aspects of this happy place are still with you today in the place where you are right now? Maybe you see some of the same people. Maybe you feel some of the same physical sensations. And if some of these feelings are elusive today, ask yourself, how can you find them? Please stay here as long as you need today. I will finish this video recording. May all beings know peace. May all beings know health. May all beings know comfort.